The Fargo Five. I'm Conrad Fargo. Welcome to the city of Fargo, the city of frost and fire. You can learn all about this north of normal metro, one person at a time. This is the Fargo Five. We are doing frequently asked questions with our guest Taylor Schatz. I lost my sheet. Did I get that right?
That's correct. Taylor Schatz.
Something happens, I forget. All right, Taylor Schatz
Jake
from
Taylor.
Below Zero Wrestling. Yes. So we were just talking about how Fargo is an eclectic and exciting city. People are curious about this town.
Very much so.
I told them I was having a professional wrestler on.
Oh, right on.
And they wrote me a bunch of mail.
Oh.
So I thought maybe we could read and respond to some of that listener mail on the air.
100%. Yeah.
So the first one here, we've got Jeff in Sioux City, Iowa. He says, hey, love the show. I've got a burning question that's been cooking in my brain like a hot dish on a potluck night. If Fargo were a wrestler, what would its catchphrase be? Would it be something like, I'm going to pile drive you into the hot dish of defeat? Or maybe I'll body slam you so hard you'll see lutefisk stars. I need to know, man, for science.
Honestly, I think it would probably, for those of us who live here, even in Iowa, maybe even pull out like a Game of Thrones reference. I don't know if they own it or not, but like winter is coming. That's sort of like the tale with this winter actually being quite lovely. We haven't had a bad winter this year, but every time it is, it always hits us, and we're always very resilient.
Yeah.
So not even the winters can keep us down.
You have to be.
Yeah. You have to.
I call it our immigration policy. You must be this hard to live here.
100%.
Right? Like, I'm not saying that everybody who leaves is soft, but if you're soft, you're gonna leave.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to be here. No, 100%.
You gotta go.
All my international friends that come here for either university or whatever, they don't recognize or realize how cold and how nasty it can get. And so it's like one of the first things I try to do, or at least I've seen a lot of people try to help them out and be like, no, we need to go get you a winter coat.
Coat.
I have a coat. No,
you don't.
No, you don't. We have to go get. we have to go. I want to keep you safe. I want to keep you, wanting to be here. So.
Well, I think the other thing some people realize it's cold, and they don't realize we actually have summer.
Right.
That's why I say it's the city of frost
Beautiful
and fire, because
we
have. When we can get scorching, it gets over 100 in July and August.
Yeah, there was. And I try to tell people as well too, who have never been to North Dakota or Fargo, that we're one of those states that it can like range so much. It can be the coldest place on Earth, colder than Antarctica on some days, and it also can be the hottest place on Earth, hotter than the Sahara. And people don't believe me, and it's like, no, seriously, the temperature gets above like 120 at some point. And it's only like 100 degrees over in the Sahara.
And this could be totally apocryphal, but I always had the understanding that Fargo, North Dakota, actually, because of the way the vortex lines up and everything, we have, in the entire world, the greatest range of temperatures.
Yes.
Right? So there are places that are colder and there are places that are hotter.
100%.
But no place has such
a wide variety.
Such a wide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next question from Trevor in Rochester, Minnesota. He says, all right, so picture this. Fargo enters the ring for a tag team match. Who would be its partner? Would it be Grand Forks, its trusty sidekick, or maybe Moorhead, the neighboring tag team champ? And more importantly, what would their tag team name be?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question, Trevor. Honestly, really, really good thinking outside the box. Well, if we were keeping it just like all North Dakota, if you want to get a little bit East Coast or Mid Coast, a little West Coast, I'd say like Fargo and Bismarck, other than Grand Forks. No hate to Grand Forks. I lived up in Grand Forks for many years, and it was good for when I was there. But if we're going a little bit more broad spectrum, I would say actually include Moorhead into that, so we can like pull those Minnesota fans in there too, so we can help represent from that. Always thinking about marketing when you're trying to push something as well. You got to make it fun, but you have to think a little bit more broadly about things as well. So, and I don't know what that would be. Would that be like the Fargo Moorhead connection? Would that be more Fargo? Would that be far more than you're expecting? There's so many things you can play off that.
A lot
Trevor.
of options, a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
What do you think about Fargo and Bismarck? That's something. So, since I've gotten into the world of real estate and political stuff, I was on the political committee at the Home Builders Association. I learned a lot more about North Dakota politics, which frankly I was totally unaware of.
Okay.
And you say you come from rural North Dakota, and I think people who grow up in Fargo aren't really quite aware, like what the shadow Fargo kind of casts over the rest of the state. And I'm not in like I'm not trying to pass judgment at all, but like it is the big city, and so we have that population, and so like I feel like there's a lot of maybe feels bad that comes from the western part of the state, or is that maybe not so much the case?
No. I mean, I definitely see that from different family and friends and things like that. And a lot of North Dakota is made up of a whole bunch of rural communities. They're getting less and less as time goes on.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I graduated in my high school. We were the combination of 3 towns, and I graduated with a total of 17 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I knew everyone in my grade. And looking, I mean, at the political climate of things as well too. I mean, Fargo tends to lean more blue, while the rest of the state is red,
which is common. I mean, usually the
totally
bigger
common.
city is more blue than the rural.
100%. But when you think about the population of Fargo as well too, it's very much immigrant of sort of everywhere. Not only the world, but the rest of North Dakota too. Because if you want to study anything, usually university, they come to NDSU or they go to MSUM, or jump across the border, which is just Moorhead just feels like Fargo. It's like for those of us who live here, it's like Fargo Moorhead. That's why we put it all together. Yeah. With a few exceptions, but that's why we put it all together. But no, I do feel that there is like this divide. Definitely when you talk with people in Bismarck and how they feel about things, and then you talk with people in Fargo and how they feel about things. It almost doesn't feel like the same like cohesive state.
Yeah. But that's why I think it would be interesting. When you said that for the tag team, that's what popped into my mind.
Oh,
and I'm
man.
just imagining them as like these two brothers, and they are brothers.
But they're
but like they don't like they're teaming up to be the tag team. They don't like each other, but they're working together to stop whatever.
But
whoever.
Eventually they're going to come to blows because brothers fight. But what do also brothers do at the very
brothers
end?
love.
Brothers gotta love each other. They make up. So that's a great. You think about that. That would be a great connection as well too. 100%.
I like the Bismarck. There's something German that we could play with there too, because the Bismarck.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Bismarck. Yeah.
Last piece of mail here. We got Marissa from Des Moines, Iowa. She says, "Hey, I've heard rumors that Fargo once had a secret underground wrestling league in the frozen tunnels beneath the city. Is there any truth to that? And if so, what kind of wild matches went down there? Ice cold cage matches, or maybe polar bear pile drivers?" And I'll add, is the first rule of the secret wrestling club that you don't talk about the secret wrestling club? Or?
Well, what I can tell you, Marissa, is that there is some truth to what you talk about. There was this was a hotbed for wrestling back in the day, and
really,
and still
You're
is.
not just yes-ending me.
Oh no, yeah. Things have been sealed off since then, but there are like underground tunnels inside of Fargo and in Moorhead, Concordia. Oh yeah,
wow,
100%. Yeah.
I thought this was a joke.
Nope. I mean, yes, it's a joke, Marissa. No. There's some actual truth to what she's bringing up.
That's very cool.
But a lot of those tunnels have been sealed up and stuff like that. If you've ever been to like the basement of the Fargo Theater, there's different like doorways that lead to nowhere anymore because they just sealed them off and things like that. So, there's some truth to it, but probably not like professional wrestling. It was more like amateur wrestling and freestyle, folk style wrestling. Yeah, fight club.
I don't even know what to. You just blew my mind. I couldn't even imagine. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, no.
That's okay. Well, that's a great segue to leaving the segment. We are going to listen to your intro music, which is Ray Charles with his song "Shake a Tail Feather."
Oh, that's not my intro music. Foo Fighters is my intro music. For Jake
okay.
Taylor.
I was like that. Okay, well, that's how we're leaving the show then. Actually, just the way I have it lined up.
Let's do it. No worries. If you want to hear my intro music, you can come to the show February 17th.
Yes.
At the West Fargo Butler Arena. $5 general admission. Come on out. Here's some Foo Fighters. Root for me. Fear the beard. Okay, come on out.
I can't believe how affordable that is.
I know. It's
and what
amazing.
do you guys call it? I closed it already. It's Winterfest or no?
Winter Slam.
Winter Slam.
Yes, ma'am.
Winter Slam. I like it. All right, so we are going to listen. I thought Shake a Tail Feather was a little strange for intro. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I could jam on out to there. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Ray Charles and Blues Brothers.
Then if that's not, I'm just going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to jump for my good friend Eric Strandy, who's listening, maybe hopefully right now.
Sure.
Guitar Hero. We're going to listen. He asked me to put this song on Get Ready to Rock.
Right on.
We're going to listen to that, and then we'll come back with the Fargo Fresh.
Sounds great.
Don't go nowhere.